Have you ever been so lost in an activity that the world around you just melts away? Hours feel like minutes, your focus is razor sharp, and every action flows effortlessly into the next. This isn't just a random burst of productivity, it's a scientifically recognized state of consciousness known as flow, or being in the zone. It's that magical space where your performance skyrockets and you feel your absolute best. Professional athletes, world-class musicians, and top-tier coders all chase this state to achieve peak performance. The good news is, you don't have to be a superstar to tap into it. Flow is a universal human experience, and today, we're going to break down the neuroscience behind it and give you a practical, step-by-step guide to unlock it on demand. This isn't about vague advice, it's about hacking your brain's own reward system to achieve a state of hyper-focus and profound satisfaction. Imagine finishing a huge project in what feels like a blink of an eye, or finally mastering a difficult skill with a sense of pure enjoyment. That's the power of flow, and by the end of this video, you'll have the keys to unlock it whenever you need it most. Let's dive into what's actually happening inside your brain when you enter this incredible state. It's not just a feeling, it's a profound shift in your neurobiology. During flow, your brain undergoes a process called transient hypofrontality. That's a fancy term, but it simply means that parts of your prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for your inner critic, self-doubt, and complex decision-making, temporarily quiet down. This is why time seems to distort and your sense of self vanishes. You're no longer overthinking or second-guessing every move. Instead, your brain reallocates its energy to the parts that are directly involved in the task at hand, allowing for faster processing, heightened creativity, and seamless action. Simultaneously, your brain is flooded with a powerful cocktail of neurochemicals. We're talking about dopamine, which sharpens your focus and provides a feeling of reward, norepinephrine, which increases alertness, anandamide, which promotes lateral thinking and reduces feelings of unease, and endorphins, which relieve discomfort and create a sense of bliss. This chemical cascade is what makes the flow state not only highly productive but also one of the most pleasurable experiences a human can have. You're literally getting high on your own brain chemistry, all in the service of peak performance. So, how do we intentionally trigger this powerful neurological state? This is where the work of researcher Steven Kotler becomes our roadmap. He identified several key triggers that reliably push us into flow, and the first one is risk. Now, this doesn't mean you need to go jump out of a plane to finish your report. Risk can be psychological, emotional, or social. It's about stepping just outside your comfort zone, where the stakes are high enough to command your full attention. When you take on a challenge that truly matters to you, one where there's a possibility of failure, your brain snaps into high alert. It says, "Pay attention, this is important." This heightened state of arousal is the perfect launching pad for flow. Think about public speaking, pitching a new idea to your boss, or even having a deeply honest conversation. These activities demand your presence and push your prefrontal cortex to quiet down so you can perform without that inner voice of doubt holding you back. By strategically adding a small, manageable element of risk to your tasks, you are essentially telling your brain that this moment requires its full, undivided focus, setting the stage for flow to emerge. The next powerful trigger is novelty. Our brains are wired to be drawn to anything new and unfamiliar. Think about how captivated you are when you visit a new city or start learning a new language. That feeling of intense engagement is your brain responding to a fresh stimulus. Novelty floods your system with dopamine, the motivation molecule, which grabs your attention and makes you want to explore further. You can inject novelty into your routine in countless ways. Try working in a different location, like a coffee shop or a library. Use a different tool to complete your task, perhaps write a draft by hand instead of typing. You could even listen to a new genre of instrumental music while you work. These small changes break the monotony that leads to boredom and distraction. They force your brain to re-engage with the task from a new perspective, reawakening your curiosity and making it much easier to become fully absorbed in what you're doing. By consistently introducing new elements into your work and life, you keep your brain stimulated and primed for flow. The third and perhaps most crucial trigger is complexity. Our brains crave a challenge, but it has to be the right kind of challenge. Flow exists on a narrow channel between anxiety and boredom. If a task is too difficult, you'll become anxious and stressed, which shuts down flow. If it's too easy, you'll get bored and your mind will wander. The sweet spot, known as the challenge/skills ratio, is where the task is about 4% harder than your current skill level. This is the zone of optimal challenge. It's difficult enough to require your full concentration, but not so hard that it feels impossible. This delicate balance is key. You need to stretch your abilities, but not to the breaking point. Think of a video game. The best games are designed to get progressively harder, always pushing you just beyond your current capabilities. This is what makes them so addictive and so effective at inducing flow. You can apply this same principle to your work by breaking down large, intimidating projects into smaller, more complex subtasks that hit that 4% sweet spot and keep you fully engaged. Now that we understand the triggers, let's put it all together into a step-by-step routine to enter a state of hyperfocus. This is your practical guide to hacking your brain and making flow a regular part of your life. First, you need to eliminate all distractions. This is non-negotiable. Turn off your phone notifications, close all unrelated tabs on your computer, and let people around you know that you need a period of uninterrupted focus. Every time you get distracted, you are pulled out of the nascent flow state, and it can take over 20 minutes to get back into that deep level of concentration. Create a sanctuary for focus. This initial step is about clearing the runway so your brain has a chance to take off. Think of it as creating a vacuum that your attention can then fill completely with the task at hand. This is the foundational layer upon which the entire flow state is built. Without a distraction-free environment, you're fighting an uphill battle. So, be ruthless in protecting your time and attention. Your productivity depends on it. Second, you need to set a crystal clear goal. Vague intentions like work on the presentation are not effective. A clear goal acts like a beacon for your attention, guiding all your mental energy in one direction. Your goal should be specific, measurable, and tied to the immediate task. For example, instead of writing, a better goal would be write the first 500 words of the introduction, focusing on the historical context. This clarity eliminates ambiguity and decision fatigue. You know exactly what you need to do, and you know what done looks like. This allows your brain to stop wasting energy on figuring out what's next and instead dedicate all its resources to execution. This process also provides immediate feedback. As you move closer to your mini-goal, your brain releases small hits of dopamine, which reinforces your focus and pulls you deeper into the flow state. Clear goals turn a daunting task into a manageable and rewarding journey, one step at a time. Third, engage in a pre-flow warm-up. You can't expect to go from 0 to 100 instantly. Just like an athlete warms up their body, you need to warm up your mind for deep focus. This can be a short, 5 to 10 minute activity that gently engages your attention. You could try a simple mindfulness meditation, focusing only on your breath. This helps to quiet the mental chatter and bring your awareness to the present moment. Alternatively, you could spend a few minutes reading something inspiring related to your task or reviewing your notes from the previous day. The goal of this warm-up is to transition your brain out of a state of scattered attention and into a mode of focused concentration. It signals to your mind that it's time to shift gears and prepare for a period of deep work. This small ritual can dramatically reduce the time it takes to enter the flow state and make the entire process feel more effortless and natural. It's about building momentum before you tackle the main event. Finally, embrace the struggle. The initial moments of tackling a challenging task are often the hardest. You might feel a bit of frustration or resistance. This is normal. This is the struggle phase that precedes flow. Many people give up at this point, checking their email or grabbing a snack. But this struggle is actually a sign that your brain is gearing up for flow. It's gathering the cognitive resources and quieting the non-essential neural networks needed for deep immersion. Instead of avoiding this feeling, lean into it. Remind yourself that this temporary discomfort is the gateway to a state of effortless performance. Trust the process. Push through that initial friction for about 15 to 20 minutes. As you persist, you'll feel a shift. The resistance will fade, your focus will sharpen, and suddenly, you'll find yourself fully immersed, riding the wave of flow. Learning to tolerate and even welcome this initial struggle is one of the most powerful skills you can develop for consistently achieving a state of hyperfocus. By understanding the neuroscience and applying these triggers and steps, you can transform flow from a happy accident into a deliberate practice. You can learn to summon this state of peak performance, making your work more productive, creative, and profoundly enjoyable. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the art and science of flow. I hope you feel empowered to start hacking your own brain for ultimate productivity. If you found this guide helpful and want more strategies to unlock your full potential, make sure to subscribe to Motivational Repo for more content just like this.